We were off on our journey to India. It was a long flight, but seeing Chennai from the air really encouraged us to look forward. Although Owen and Danny were still sleeping. We arrived first. And then we met up with my mom and dad and explored Fort Kochi with all of the New Year's festivities starting up. We saw the Jewish quarter and the most beautiful synagogue with colorful lights. Then we had a party at the hotel for New Year's Eve and Diwali. We saw some beautiful traditional dancing, which Danny loved. Then the young lads, the staff, showed us some modern dancing as well. After all the noise and fun of Kochi, we drove down to the Kerala backwaters and took a day trip on a boat. It reminded Owen and I very much of our home in Okinawa, where we had lived for 4 years. That tropical feeling and the slow pace of life. And we also had an amazing meal on the ship. Danny, as usual, found ways to occupy himself. And it was a nice, quiet afternoon before we headed on to other places. We stayed one night at this amazing resort. We were really on the way somewhere else, so we couldn't stay too long. There were monkeys on the road and signs for tiger crossing and bear crossing, elephant crossing. It was amazing. Our next stop was in the mountains on the outskirts of Munnar, and that was quite a long drive and a bit arduous in terms of car sickness on those windy mountain roads. But it was worth it because the hotel was lovely. We did a cooking class up there, and the scenery was amazing. It was the tea growing area, so all the land was just lush and vibrant, clear air. It was really a nice place to spend a few days and relax after all our traveling. We did have to go down the mountain, and it's amazing to me how much the scenery can change from one region to another and one state to another, because the rules are slightly different. But as we went down, this fog came and it just enveloped us. We could barely see in front of us, and it was at that point we crossed into another state. So it was just amazing, and our driver, thankfully, was very confident. He said he could drive this with his eyes closed. Thankfully he didn't, but it was certainly exciting. But then, we got to the bottom and we were heading towards the city, and the scenery just changed again. And it was suddenly noisy and crowded and full of people and traffic. And we were on our way to Madurai, which is where we ended the first week of our visit. And yeah, it was a little overwhelming, but as you see, we were in the tuk-tuk and we were exploring, and it was really exciting as well. We got to see a different side, and perhaps a more stereotypical side of India that we heard about in stories or saw in documentaries. The crowded areas, the markets, the arts and crafts, the temples. So it was really worth seeing. But yeah, what a way to spend our New Year's week. We had such a great time.